What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the first day of October. It's a brand new day. It's a brand new month. Here we are, 10 hours, 23 minutes left in this day here, up 2.3% already. Fantastic. Now, 10 hours, 23 minutes left. That's a lot of time. We could absolutely come back down by the end of the day, but man, I have a feeling that we're in a up only kind of mode right now. I think we'll look back at this and see that these days here, these were the beginnings of what is to be the biggest and best move of the cycle so far, at least for Bitcoin. I would assume altcoins as well, but time will tell. Maybe not all altcoins, but most of them. I think this is it, guys. This is the beginning of that finale phase. We'll see. We've got this nice W shape here. And with these W's, whenever you break above this point here, the midpoint, the nipple, you tend to see the pace continue or pick up even. So, and typically past where the W began. This one happened to begin right at our current all-time high. So I really do think that Bitcoin is just on its way to the freaking moon. If we're looking at these liquidation levels, before I get too far into the video today, I was asking if the Senate was closed, and the Senate is not closed. There will be the Committee on Finance hearing talking about the examining of the taxation of digital assets. So in about 20 minutes, I'm going to be going live and tuning into that if we can. Anyways, but by the time you guys watch this video, just check and see if I'm live. Maybe come back and watch this video later. Anyways, 116.6K now. We were looking at the liquidations. That's right. That's what we were doing. Over the past 30 days, all right, the shorts have cleared down a little bit. They've calmed down. The longs have definitely piled on, but not too much. The longs, it's kind of crazy, actually. The longs are about the same as where they were at the beginning of this day down here. They're about the same as like what they were down here. They haven't really piled on. The shorts have just cleared out. Now, that could promote some volatility. Perhaps we continue to move up and clear out more of these shorts. We don't have to move back and eat these longs, but it is something to pay attention to. Over the past day, I'm assuming, the shorts are decimated. That's still a lot of shorts, though, man. Almost $2 billion in shorts. We're moving up like this, and you're going to short with $2 billion. Yeah, we're gonna clear you out, man. The bulls are going to clear you out. Absolutely, they are. You keep shorting on the way up, but we're gonna keep moving up. That's fuel to the fire. And it might not be a short squeeze. It might not be this rapid growth, but still, there could be other things, other catalysts at play that do allow for this to get to grow at a very unprecedented rate. I think getting above this point here will be very, very key in seeing this thing lift off to new all-time highs. That point is at about 117.9K. So when we get above 118K, it's really go time. I mean, it might be go time now, depending on how this happens. When we look back at it, it might have been go time back here, and we might just be on a straight moon mission all the way up to 140K and beyond. I very much do believe, and actually, let's talk about that, where we're going to go next, because that's probably a good point of conversation right now, right? Looking at the weekly time frame, 4 days, 11 hours left. There's a lot of time left in this week. It's very possible that we could come down. But with this week, we're going to have one of the highest weekly closes in Bitcoin's history at this price, let alone if we go higher. We might be on our way to setting up for the highest close on a weekly time frame in Bitcoin's history. If that were to happen, I think that no doubt we'd see some new all-time highs here pretty soon, definitely this month. High to low. Primary target zone is at about 129 to 136.4K. Okay, that's the primary target zone. This will be the first area that Bitcoin interacts with whenever it moves up to new all-time highs. Now, you might dilly-dally in this range a little bit and then continue. You might just blast right through it, back test it for support, and then continue. Maybe you find resistance at the very first level, and then you continue something like that, whatever. But I do expect some kind of significance to be found at this area while working your way higher. The next area, once you get above the golden ratio, which is at $136,500, the next target area would be about 160 to 140K, something in this range here. And then ultimately, I think that we're going to see targets all the way up here in this area, but time will tell. At a minimum here, 165 to 190K, that's ultimately where I think we're going to go. We'll probably see that, if not by the end of October. Crazy, crazy stuff. If not by the end of October, then sometime in early November. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this move continued into the early parts of November. We're going to see Bitcoin pick up at a pace and grow. This move is going to be larger, I think, than any move that we've seen this whole cycle. Typically, that's how it is. And actually, if we go back in time, you just see that was a strong move there, but this was a much stronger move. Much, much stronger move, right? End of cycle moves are much stronger. What about this move? That wasn't that strong. That's not the end of the cycle. That was a fake out. It's not. The bull market clearly ended here, and we had a lot of our cycle top indicators blasting off here. This is a false. This is a farce run here. If we're looking at BTC USD and we're doing the all-time history, the cycle before started off decent, had some good bits of growth here, but the best moves were for last, right? That was the best moves. In fact, let's just see here for the last two cycles. Oops, that was not the low. But you had basically 38 weeks of just straight upside. And of course, there were weeks, months where you consolidated. But we look back at it and we look at it like it was this 38-month period of brilliance, right? You just hold through these moments. 38-week moment. Let's see. If we look at this here, we started here, and maybe not. Maybe we started here, and then we stopped here. Even though the all-time or the cycle high was here, the all-time high was here. I should say the end of the bull market high was here. Whatever, however you'd phrase that. 22 weeks. Even last cycle, last bull market, the cycle before 38 weeks. Last cycle was 22 weeks. Last cycle was pathetic. It was absolutely pathetic. Last cycle was the worst bull cycle we've ever seen and probably will be one of the worst bull markets we will ever see. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And it saw 22 weeks of straight upside. There was a month here, a couple weeks here where we were moving sideways, right? It's not all up all the time, but 22 weeks is still a lot. I theorize that this cycle, we're going to have not 38 weeks, not 22 weeks, but something in between. We're probably going to stop off sometime in Q2 or late Q1 of 2026. We're going to look back, and this could be the beginning week. This could be where it all starts. We go to 22 weeks. That puts us out in the ending of February. We go to 38 weeks. That puts us out into the beginning or the middle of June. I think we're going to go somewhere between 30 weeks or more, probably, and we'll be in April or May for the end of this cycle for Bitcoin. I think it will be April, probably March or April if we're being fair, but time will tell. Something in that range. Anyways, thinking ahead there. Looking at the short-term stuff, let's get into the 1 hour time frame and then we'll zoom out a little bit from there, okay? If you guys hear a cat meowing, it's just my cat outside. He wants me to let him in so that as soon as I let him in, he can meow at me to let him out back outside again. So he's fine. He's definitely fine. Getting overbought here, bouncing off the overbought zone like we did back here. Beautiful. Love to see it. And that, whenever we bounced off the overbought zone, what did that do? That allowed us to grow more. We're moving up here. Volume's dying off, but that's okay. Volume died off before, and we still grew more, so I'm okay with that. Stochastics are overbought. MACD looks good. It all looks good. All fantastic. All vibrant. Looking at the 4 hour time frame, building volume here, clearly looking great. Stochastics are immaculate. The MACD does have some bearish divergence, but it's nothing to play off of until we have a red candle. Okay, we got 2 hours, 15 minutes left. Let's see if this candle closes red. If it closes red, we have bearish divergence both on the MACD and the stochastic or the RSI. And if that's the case, then we might see a move back down to about 114K, and that's fine. 114 and a half, 114K, whatever. Move down and then move up from there, right? Very, very bullish finish to the last 4 hour candle, though, and I'd be surprised if we pulled back here. I think that we're going to move up. You guys, in the next 2 hours, the Committee on Finance, the Senate, right, they're going to have this hearing. So by the end of this candle, we're going to have good news or bad news when it comes to taxation of digital assets. I'm assuming, because we're moving up going into this hearing, I'm assuming there's going to be some good stuff that we're going to hear about. That's my assumption. And we probably will sell the news. We probably will have that, and there might be a little bit of volatility because of that. But you never know. If we get some news like no taxes on United States cryptos, if we get news like if you're a long-term holder of Bitcoin or anything in the strategic reserve for crypto in the United States, then you don't have to pay taxes, or your long-term capital gains taxes are even less than what they would normally be. We get some kind of positive tax news, even just standard stuff where it's in writing, clarified that there's clarification, I should say, that the taxation is the exact same as how we should handle stocks or how we should handle property or how we should handle blah, 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 whatever, as far as capital gains go. Just some kind of clarity in itself, even if it's exactly the same as what it is now. But with that clarity, that should provide some kind of oomph to the markets. We should see some life because we'll respond pretty good. I think the price will respond well to any kind of news that isn't just bad, right? And I don't know about you guys, but I believe in pricing things in before the event. I think the insiders know what's up. There's going to be some good stuff coming from this. We'll see. Maybe it's not related. Maybe there's something else completely entirely. But yeah, we'll see. 2 hours, 13 minutes left. If this candle closes red, we'll probably pull back down to about 114K. And that's fine. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if we pull back to 114K, that's okay. High to low here, you went from your golden ratio down to your 0.5382 area. Perfect, exactly as expected, right? Up to your 886, 786 area. It would actually make a lot of sense to find some turbulence here and go back to your golden ratio. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we did pull back to about 114.3K, 115K, somewhere in this zone, and then we continue to rally. If we hold support at 116K, 115.9K right here, that would be awesome. But again, I would look for that in the form of a wick, right? We close this candle green, maybe next candle we wick down, but we still close it green, because if we get a red candle here, that bearish divergence goes into effect both on the RSI and the MACD, and that would bring us down definitively here. Likely. I mean, like with a 90% chance of likelihood it would be. So right now, I guess I'm calling for a price to move down, the price to move down here and then up from there. Unless the Senate says something like United States cryptos and Bitcoin and anything in the strategic reserve does not get taxed at all. If they say that, we're probably just going to rip right through the roof. America is going to become the crypto hub of the world, and everybody's going to want to move here so they can avoid paying taxes on the fastest growing asset class in the world. I'm just saying this not because I think this is what's going to happen, but because you never know, right? As far as what I think is going to happen, I'm assuming it's going to be like most news-related events where it's kind of underwhelming, where we get the clarity that the hearing happens, and then we're like, oh, that's it, okay, cool, whatever, and we sell the news because of that, right? You price it in, you sell the news, but then we move up. We'll probably continue to move up. 120K, 124K, new all-time highs. We're going to see new all-time highs, upwards and onwards. Once we're above 118K, that's whenever it's go time, okay? And we could be at 118K as early as today, if not tomorrow. Certainly by the end of this week, I think that we should be above this high, but we'll see. You know, the way that I have it drawn here, we're on the 4-hour time frame. Moving down like this, that could take, you know, it's Wednesday now. It could take until Friday, and then we move up, and then we're rocking and rolling going into the end of the week and next week. I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. All right. Bye-bye.